Hello and good day everyone. My name is Kelana Unjang with the student ID 2025163679. In this video, I'll be presenting for my persuasive speech with the topic the benefits of ketogenic diet. What if I told you that eating more fat could actually burn more fat, clear your brain fog, and supercharge your daily energy? It sounds entirely contradictory to everything we have been told about nutrition over the past few decades. We have been trained to fear fat, to count calories meticulously, and to look for low fat levels on every box at the grocery store. Yet, as a society, we are more exhausted and more prone to chronic health issues than ever before. So, the approach that I'm talking about today represents a profound, scientifically validated metabolic shift. Historically and clinically, this dietary intervention has proven so powerful that it is utilized as a primary medical treatment for difficult to control and drug resistant epilepsy in children. So, medical studies show that implementing this high fat, low carbohydrates regimen can successfully cut the frequency of debilitating seizures by at least half for roughly 50% of young patients who do not respond to traditional medication. If a dietary shift can fundamentally restabilize the electrical patterns of a child's brain, imagine what it can do for your everyday vitality. Think about your typical afternoon. We have all experienced the dreaded 2 p.m. energy crash, that moment where your eyelids grow heavy, your productivity nosedives, and you reach for a third cup of coffee or a sugary snack just to make it through the workday. We combat the stubborn wave that refuses to budge, and we battle constant hunger pangs despite having eaten just a couple of hours prior. When individuals first make the transition away from a standard diet, they often undergo an uncomfortable cluster of these exact symptoms, which are experiencing hunger, headaches, malnausea, fatigue, irritability, constipation, and brain fog. This phenomenon is collectively known as a keto flow. It is not a sign of permanent failure, rather, it is the biological frictions of a body struggling to shift its engine from burning sugar to burning fat. Why do we find ourselves locked in this endless loop of exhaustion and hunger? The problem lies within our modern dietary framework. Modern diets rely heavily on refined carbohydrates and processed sugars, keeping our system trapped in a constant damaging cycle of blood sugar spikes and also subsequent hormonal changes. When ample carbohydrates stores are readily available from easy to digest foods like processed sugars, sodas, white bread, and pastries, our body defaults exclusively to a metabolic pathway called glycogenolysis. So, what is it? Glycogenolysis. It refers to the breakdown of glycogen stores tightly packed inside our muscles and liver to supply a rapid stream of glucose. Because glucose is so easy for the body to access, as relying on it keeps our system completely locked out of utilizing our natural fat source for energy. So we are essentially sitting on an enormous tank of reserve fuel, stored body fat, but our body cannot find the key to open it because it is flooded with glucose. So the direct impact of this carbohydrates dependence threatens our daily productivity and our long-term health. Our livers are naturally designed to produce small amounts of organic molecules called ketone bodies consistently, even overnight while we are sleeping. However, a continuous high carbohydrate intake significantly slows down this natural phenomenon or generations of ketones because the body simply relies on volatile short acting glucose. Remaining trapped on this biological roller coaster forces our brain to depend on fluctuating inefficient fuel source, predisposing our long-term metabolic sluggishness and also our chronic insulin resistance, and lastly elevated glucose profiles. Fortunately, there is a solution to satisfy this metabolic crisis: the ketogenic diet. The ketogenic diet is a highly specific nutritional structure that is low in carbohydrates, adequate in protein, and high in healthy fats. By systematically depriving the body of excess glucose, it safely forces the system into a sustained metabolic state known as ketosis. Let's look at the underlying biological mechanism to understand how this works. When you restrict digestible carbohydrates to a strict minimum, your body exhausts its temporary glycogen stores. Deprived of the sugar, the liver steps in and begins converting dietary and stored fats into fatty acids and ketone bodies through a pathway that occurs inside the mitochondria of the liver cells. This process of ketogenesis breaks down these fats to produce three distinct, highly energetic ketone molecules, which are acetone, S-twistate, and beta-hydroxybutyrate. Unlike other dense lipid molecules, these ketone bodies are completely water soluble. This unique chemical complex or structure means they do not require complex protein to transport them through your bloodstream. They travel freely, effortlessly cross the blood-brain barrier and replace glucose as a major steady source of fuel for your brain and heart. Once these ketones arrive at your tissues, they enter the citric acid cycle and undergo oxidative phosphorylation, efficiently producing an impressive 22-adenosine triphosphate or ATP. So these molecules per keton is a clean, long-burning energy. The direct health benefits of this shift are backed by extensive clinical data. First, carbohydrates restriction directly lowers glucose concentrations over time, so it offers a powerful natural tool to manage type 2 diabetes and lower glycated hemoglobin levels. Clinical meta-analysis of randomized controlled trials revealed that overweight patients adopting a ketogenic diet experienced significant reductions in body weight, decreased waist circumference, and a massive drop in harmful triglycerides and notable increase in cardioprotective high-density lipoproteins or HDL. And furthermore, a large-scale meta-analysis of 20 randomized controlled trials demonstrated that the ketogenic diet exerts an overall positive effect on strengthening the human immune system. Even more groundbreaking is contemporary oncology research surrounding what is known as the Warburg effect. So, scientists have discovered that many types of aggressive tumor cells break down glucose up to 200 times faster than normal healthy cells. And by restricting carbohydrate intake, the ketogenic diet essentially helps starve these glucose dependent tumor cells, leading researchers to actively evaluate it as a powerful complementary therapy to inhibit cancer cell growth. To understand the true value of this adjustment, let us visualize two vastly different futures. So, picture yourself choosing to remain on the carbohydrates roller coaster. If you maintain your current dietary habits, you will continue dealing with those frustrating midday energy crashes, stubborn weight retention, and persistent systemic inflammation. Over the long term, continuing this cycle keeps your body in a state of metabolic sluggishness. Furthermore, medical science cautions that if a ketogenic low carb style diet is executed recklessly without proper nutritional balance, it can bring its own negative effects. For instance, completely removing whole grains and fruits without planning can drastically lower your fiber intake, which disrupts your gut microbiome and causes severe constipation. Research public health warnings, including insights from Harvard School of Public Health, indicate that prolonged unmonitored dietary extremes can elevate your risks for kidney diseases or stones, accelerate osteoporosis, and increase uric acid levels in the blood, which is a primary risk factor for gout. Now, contrast that with a positive vision of balanced, well-formulated ketogenic diet. Imagine waking up every single day with sustained, vibrant energy that remains level from morning until night. Visualize experiencing sharper mental focus, a complete absence of brain fog, and effortless weight management. Thanks. Visualize experiencing a sharper mental focus, a complete absence of brain fog, and effortless weight management without the torment of constant hunger pangs. Picture your liver successfully adapting to a highly optimized rate of fat oxidation, turning your body into an efficient machine that uses both dietary fats and stored adipose tissue to fuel your vital organ systems. You feel lighter, healthier, and completely in control of your relationship with food. Translating this visualization into reality requires immediate, deliberate actions. You do not have to undergo a drastic, lifelong transformation overnight, but you must take the first step to see what your body is truly capable of achieving. First, issue a simple challenge to each of you today. Commit to a basic 7-day carbohydrate reset starting tomorrow morning. For just 1 week, swap out of your sugary breakfast, morning pastries, or heavy lunch grains. Replace them with clean proteins and rich, healthy fats such as eggs, fresh avocados, crisp green vegetables, and natural nuts. However, let us be completely honest and scientifically accurate. Adopting a highly restrictive diet is a deeply individual process, and its long term efficacy relies on doing it safely. To prevent nutrient deficiencies and support a healthy gut, you must ensure you are incorporating a diverse array of whole foods. Focus on high quality meats, fresh foods, and non-starchy vegetables and seed varieties to guarantee your body receive its necessary intake of dietary fiber, free vitamins, iron, magnesiums, and zincs. As you leave this room today, please pick up the comprehensive beginner's meal prep guide that I have printed out and placed on the back table. This guide outlines easy, nutrient-dense meal structures to get you through your first week seamlessly. But remember, sustainable health is never about a temporary fad or a blind train. It requires deep understanding of your own unique medical profile, because your nutritional urgency or strategy must always align with your personal health history. So I strongly urge you to consult with a registered dietitian and your physician. Let them guide you in monitoring not just the numbers on the scale, but your internal blood panels, metabolic markers, and overall systemic health. And let us take the guide, accept the 7-day challenge, and take your first definitive step forward to a re energized, metabolically empowered body.